the same. So, who's the monster?
What's great about this series is that, I'm so excited that we get to have the MCU's first Native Indigenous, we say badass, right? Because she's not even a hero, and she's a villain. And that's one of the things that I find so interesting about the character. And what was so great about Hawkeye was the fact that she was a villain and she was a criminal. And we really try to lean into that. And so I'm really excited for audiences to see a different corner of the MCU, but also for the Marvel fans to be able to be introduced to Indian country as well. We have deaf representation and we have Indigenous representation. And, in that first comic book run, the character of Maya Lopez is Blackfeet, but she's kind of Blackfeet in name only, right? And, that first comic book run in Daredevil is beautifully illustrated, and there's a bunch of Native American iconography and imagery, but it's arbitrary. There's I think there's something from the ancestral Puebloans in the Southwest, and, it's like, oh, that's Inuit and from Alaska, and that's Six Nations from New York. And, that's not a fault of the illustrators, but it was just probably that was the resources they had at the time that they were making this. And so for us, we wanted to be as authentic as possible. And because we had Choctaw writers in the writers' room, I think that sort of came about organically. And then being able to engage the Choctaw Nation and get their input and their advice on things, it sort of kind of sealed the deal for us. In the comic books, Maya Lopez is also an expert lip reader, right? And so I am Indigenous, but I'm not deaf. And so one of the things that we really worked hard to do was have deaf writers in the writers' room, deaf consultants behind the scenes. We had an ASL master, Doug Ridloff, who would translate our scripts from English to ASL, because the two things are not one-to-one. And then we also had deaf Indigenous actors playing deaf Indigenous roles. And one of the things that we all learned along the way is that even the best lip readers in the world can only understand about 30% of what's being said. And so in our effort for authenticity, we decided to deviate from that in the comic books, in order to be more authentic and true to the deaf experience. As far as Maya's powers and how they differ in the series, you'll just have to watch and find out how it all comes together.
Don't be afraid.
I loved playing her because she's just a very challenging character to become. I had to have an acting coach help me become and use her emotions to be able to become her. So she's full of rage. And when I look at that kind of character, I kind of am able to slowly become her by watching her more and more and thinking about her. And also she's stubborn, and I am very stubborn as well. So I think that helped me to become her and embody her character. What influenced me? Well, I never actually thought of acting as a career at first. I was sent the casting call from a friend on social media that they were looking for an Indigenous deaf woman in their 20s. And at first I said no, but then I had two other people send it to me. And so I thought, I'll give it a shot. And here we are. Now I have the role. Can you imagine if they said no at first? I wouldn't even be here. But so grateful to be here now. I prepared myself by meeting with the director, Sydney, beforehand. She helped me develop the character. We rehearsed lines together, and we wanted to bring Maya to life. And that really helped me a lot, along with using my deaf ASL coach as well. And I had an acting coach, and I had a deaf consultant that helped me on set that would help me translate all of my lines from English into an American Sign Language. And that's how we became Maya. I think the importance of family and community, because when you think about Maya opening up to her blood family back in Oklahoma, she struggles with that. Then she realizes that she does need to open up somehow. And she needs to find the understanding of what family is. And I'm hoping that the audience is going to be able to see that throughout the series.